Look at the weather.
It's beautiful here.
Non-stop rain.
Oh, man, it is a blazer out there.
It's cold and it's shivery.
It is cold.
Really coming down here.
I really enjoy your weather reports.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we're talking weather in a whole new way. From historical events to what's coming up, plus weather news, science, safety, fun facts, and more.
I like where this is going.
This is Weather Weekly. Weather Weekly with Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey.
It is episode 261 of Weather Weekly. Good to be with you, meteorologist Marcus Bailey. We are digging out after one of the larger two-day snow events we've had in quite some time. And this snow's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's good to be with you, though. Thanks for joining us here for this week's episode. We'll get to the forecast, obviously, coming up in just a bit. Did briefly want to touch on the snow. Now, as I'm recording this, still some unofficial numbers piling in, but on the whole, the numbers were very impressive. 11.1 officially in Indianapolis, two-day event. That is the most that we have seen in a two-day event since January 5th and 6th of 2014. Okay? Didn't quite make it to a foot. And what's interesting, I looked at some of the records. Getting to a foot of snow, extremely rare here in Indianapolis. It's only happened 8 times on record. Okay? So yeah, it does not happen very often. I've got a lot of 9, 10, and 11-inch reports around the metro area. Again, a lot of unofficial numbers. Some of these are delayed. The numbers that I see that are highest are down in Decatur, Bartholomew, Brown County, Jackson County, and Jennings County, 14 to 14 and a half inches of snowfall. So really the bullseye of this storm was just southeast of the metro area. In fact, maybe southern Shelby County getting clipped a little bit. So again, I'll have more comprehensive looks on my social media page, but it does give you a rough estimate of where we ended up. Even up in Madison County, I've got 9 to 10 inches. Up in Delaware County, I'm close to that, 9 inches, 8 inches near Blackford County. There was a sharp cutoff once you kind of got north of there. Got maybe 4 to 6 inches in the northern third of the state. They just didn't get the thump of snow like the rest of central and southern Indiana did. Okay. Actually, and what's actually interesting is look, it was pretty nasty, but almost the entire state of Ohio got it much worse than we did. Cincinnati was up to around 10, which is a little bit less than Indy. But Columbus is up to 13, and as of recording this, still snowing. Parts of east central Ohio are up to 14 to 15 inches of snow. So they ended up getting it much worse, and I think parts of New England are going to get it worse too. So, but again, significant snow event, and as we will tell you coming up in this forecast, not much snow melt going on over the foreseeable future. Some extremely cold temperatures are on the way with this fresh, new, and very dense snowpack. We'll talk about it in the week ahead for January 26, 2026. You're listening to Weather Weekly.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
All right, the week ahead for January 26, 2026. Let's dive in here and talk about it. First, before we get into the forecast, because this will go fairly quick, okay? Very quiet and cold week ahead. But I want to explain why we're going to be ridiculously cold. And it's not just all about, yes, we have this Arctic air mass coming through, but it has been a while since we've had this kind of snowpack, not just here in Indiana, but it stretches up toward from here to the point of origin of where this Arctic air is coming from, which is the Yukon, just east of Alaska. And there's a thick snowpack from there all the way down to us. So that air does not have a chance to modify, is what we call that. And so it stays cold. This happens every winter, But several of our winters, we haven't had this kind of snow. There'd be some snow, but there'd be areas that just is very sparse. And so that gives the air a chance to warm up a little bit. So the difference would be highs in the upper teens and lower 20s for an extended period. As opposed to what we're going to experience, which is highs barely getting above zero and sub-zero lows every single night. Okay? So keep that in mind. That's kind of what we're looking at here. All right. So brutally cold temperatures coming our way for Monday. There is an extreme cold warning in effect. That means that we're going to be hitting wind chills at 25 below in the morning. So it's not just the snow that we're going to have to worry about. And obviously, school delays, closings Monday, and probably the next few days. It's going to take a while to get back to normal here because of all the snow, and the cold's not going to help things out at all. But we would be getting delays and possibly closings just with the cold here. All right. So 15 to 25 below for Monday morning. Monday during the day, high temperatures only getting up to around 8. And wind chills will likely be into the 15 below range. Okay. Monday night, again, brutally cold. Lows are going to be between 0 and 5 below, locally colder in some spots. Wind chills will be well below 0. Cold weather advisory will continue. Tuesday, cold weather advisory continues through lunchtime, at least. The time of this recording, it may get extended. Here's the good news, though. I do think, well, I say good news, kind of. It's still going to be cold. Tuesday will be the warmest day of the week. 22 for your high. That actually should be enough if we can get some sunshine out that'll at least help melting a little bit because of the sun angle, okay? But it's not going to do enough damage. Obviously, we got a lot of snow on the ground. Tuesday night then, another shot of very Arctic air. We're partly cloudy, a low down to 7 below Tuesday night. And then the rest of the week, it's another persistent Arctic air mass. Maybe some flurries here and there, but nothing significant. Wednesday, you'll have a high of around 13, a low of 5 below. Thursday, a high of 12, low of 0. Friday, 17, a low of 2. And Saturday, a high of 19, and a low just above 0. Okay. If I go into the extent of the national blend of models, kind of the standard that we look at with all the models combined, we do bounce back to the mid-20s by Sunday, and there's some hints that we open up the new work week next week, potentially getting highs in the upper 20s and lower 30s, so the Arctic air retreating back into Canada. But it's going to take the full week to get there. And so that's going to create its own issues, obviously, this week. Snow melt, difficult at best. So, yes, that's where we're at right now, gang. We will do a quick recap. And, of course, we will look ahead to the next 8 to 14 days and much, much more. You're listening to Weather Weekly. All right, so let's go ahead and put in the numbers here for you. The official number, again, is 11.1 for the event. We had 8.6 actually just for Sunday alone. That is a daily record. So lots of snow just in one day. For the month, it does put us at 11.3, and we were well below average. That now ends that. 4.1 on the plus side now. Normal value to the date is 7.2. Last year at this time, we had 12.1, so we actually are still an inch behind. I think we'd be okay if we don't catch that. Since December 1st now, so that's the winter season, 23.1. We're now 9.5 above average to date. And since July 1st, 26.6. And that puts us at a foot above average to date. We'll see how everything kind of pans out here. We're also 10 inches more than last year. All right. Okay. We already kind of ventured into, the beginnings of the 6 to 10 day outlook. Let's go 8 to 14 day outlook. Again, not a lot of relief. This would be February 2nd through the 8th. Strong signals for below average temperatures, basically for the eastern half of the country. It does kind of pan down a little bit closer to the Midwest, much stronger in the southeast, Florida included in that. Here's a welcome sign for you that are sick of the snow. Pretty strong signals in that 8 to 14 day outlook of below average precipitation. So that is a good sign. If there is any good news about all of this snow, it will help the drought situation. We are still in a extreme drought in northern parts of the state. Northern half of the state still in a severe drought. The snow, the liquid equivalent, it won't end up being much. At 11.1 inches of snowfall, the snow ratios were much higher than a typical 10 to 1. So, but even if it was a 10 to 1, it's only an inch. But I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit less than that because we were talking snow ratios around 15, maybe 18, maybe 20 to 1. So, but look, we'll take whatever we can get. Obviously, it's just going to take a while for it to melt and saturate the ground and everything else like that. So it'll help at least a little bit. All right, that'll do it for this week's podcast. Thanks for tagging along. Hopefully you're staying warm and you're digging out from this massive winter event over the weekend. You can always get my forecast 24 hours a day, Wish TV, Channel 8 in Indianapolis locally, Monday through Friday, 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Daybreak. You can also watch it online at wishtv.com. You can also get our forecast 24 hours a day at wishtv.com/weather. And I'm always posting on social media, most active on my Facebook page, but I'm on all 4 of the major platforms: TikTok, X, Instagram, and Facebook. The Facebook page, Marcus Bailey Weather, search for it there, and you can join on in on all of the updates. While you're here, make sure to check out all the other great podcasts, all part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Have a wonderful week. We will talk to you soon. Stay warm, and God bless.
Discover more from Storm Track 8 Weather and Wish TV. Online at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Plus, be sure to check out more great podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.